How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Devin A. Burns. Some of y'all know me as Doppler Glass, Dab Earth. I'm here with Respect the Vibe. Big thanks having me out again. I'm here today to talk to y'all about really my main thing I do in this world, which is writing. And my first book I'm publishing called Death in the Morning. Originally from New York City, but I consider myself mostly a South Florida native. I've been here since I was 2 years old, and the origin of me as a writer really goes all the way back to my parents. Probably the first memories I have in life really are about them and teaching me to read. Both my parents are really dedicated readers themselves. My father's a poet, and from day one, that was something that I always done with them, shared with them, they taught me about. And I think as a kid, I started to look at them and see, you see your parents as being smart and these people who know a lot about the world, and them always pushing books at me and reading with me and things like that made me just, I think, realize I thought that reading was how you got smart. That's how you acquired knowledge, and really it's become a lifelong journey for me. And when I was 4 years old, I told them I'm gonna write a book one day. I'm gonna do it. And pretty much all my schoolwork, everything that led up to that point, and I finally, when I was about 30, took the dive and spent almost 8 years writing this book to get the first one out. And now I got a process and I know how to publish and everything. So this specific story really started as a 1,000-word short story, and I had a couple short stories I'd been working on just right about when I was 28, 29 years old. And I took one of them, this particular short story, and I just kept going. And I have a friend who always tells me, bro, remember when you hit 10,000 words? And I was like, I do remember that, because it was like all of a sudden this small story had grown to like a medium story. And at that point I was like, this is going to be the book. And I literally took this small story about a South Florida neighborhood, about people in it, not myself, not even people specific to my life, and I just let it grow and expand upon itself, and it became this whole book, which is, pretty thick, guys. I think it's in the 180,000 word range. And my friend, I can even tell you when I hit 100,000 words and stuff like that, like all these little milestones along the way that grew to the book, and now it is what it is. It's a beautiful thing. So the story, I wanted to tell a story in an engaging way, so I used some of my favorite things in life, which are movies and anime. I actually like reading manga specifically, and I kind of structured the book in this way where it's broken into short bits, and the story kind of keeps driving and then leaving you on almost cliffhangers. So you have places where you can stop, but every time you pick back up, you kind of know where you were. Same with like a Quentin Tarantino or a Guy Ritchie movie, where the movie's kind of coming at you quickly and building and building and building, and then eventually things start wrapping around each other. And that was really the point of my story, was to build something that had some suspense, philosophy, psychology, but also, regular everyday people things, religion, all these things mixed into a story that was really based around action and murder and love and some of the harder moments we face in life. And so I feel like the book has a lot of dynamics to it in the story, because that's really what I want to write about. I want things that make you think about small aspects of your life, big aspects of your life, think about things you never thought about before, different perspectives. And really the story has a lot of that perspective shift to it, and seeing the same sort of pivotal moment, but from different people's perspectives and how they got there. And that's just always been very interesting to me. When you get into the book itself, you realize there's a lot of important characters in this book. You start off with Ned Peters. He's kind of your typical South Florida pool man, and he leads you in to contact with some of the other characters that then become main focuses in their own right. I always said I kind of have a hard time pulling and saying who's actually the number one main character, because there's really about 3 that the story truly pivot around, and they're all wrapped around each other in a way that I can't explain and give up the cliffhangers. But you have Uncle Jorge, which some people it's okay to pronounce as George, because if you go back to the 80s in South Florida, everybody didn't understand or choose to use people's proper pronunciation. So there's Uncle Jorge, you have Jams, you have Belinda, you have Shanti, you have all these characters that when you get into their own perspectives kind of come alive to you and become, I think, each person someone everybody can relate to, but also the decisions and choices they make shape them into being their own individuals. And I think everybody will have people they like, dislike. Kind of the idea is that that's open-ended in some respects. I didn't write any evil bad person or something like that. That's not really how life is to me. Life's grayer. People exist on a spectrum, and so that's kind of, these characters all exist on spectrums of humanity as well. Some of the most pivotal moments of the book happen around, obviously, really strong, decisive actions. So at one moment, without giving away too much, Shanti decides to pick up a glass bottle and throw it through the air at someone. And that moment in the book is you see it as it happens, but through different people's perspectives, and it becomes a moment that changes her life. And once it happens, she can never go back, and there's parts of it she doesn't even understand why she did. And I think most of us know when life happens, sometimes it just happens quick and things go, and you kind of got to live with the circumstances, and that's one of those things. There's probably, my father pointed out his favorite part of the book is a major fight scene that occurs later in the book, and obviously action drives most of the entertainment we like to take in. So even though I give you good bits of who people are, and you get to see psychology and stuff like that, the driving parts of the story revolve around action. And there's a major fight within a small confined kitchen, and the fight leads 2 of these characters through a lot of why they're against each other, who they are as people. And I feel like it's also like one of the culminating parts of the book where once you get there, you have a better idea of kind of how everybody's lives are coming together. And it's just a fun part to read. I feel like it's a page-turning part of the book where once you start that fight, you probably can't put the book down until you finish reading that fight. So for me, the purpose, what I set as for, was let me write a book. In 2025, the reality of any book, piece of content you put out, is that there's so many opportunities and avenues to grow your stories, to let them live maybe their own lives. And one of the reasons I wasn't scared about putting out a 700-page book, which seems like, oh man, will people read that or this and that? Well, you know what? It's plenty of content for a TV series, some movies, maybe we have a trilogy in the works. I mean, my goal is to tell my stories to as wide an audience as possible. I'm not chasing the biggest audience. I'm not doing it to sell and make the most money off the book. I love seeing people take in what I've put out in the world and talking to them about it and learning about how others see what I'm doing. So any future for the story, you know, whether it be a movie, a play, a TV series. I definitely want to explore all those avenues. Why wouldn't you nowadays? I mean, it's amazing what we can do. Could you imagine, like, seeing seeing them pick the people to play the characters in your book, you know? Like, not even, I hadn't even thought about that mentally, like which actors I would have and actresses I'd have play what, but man, that would be so cool just to see that happen. So hopefully it has a future like that. You know, this is that process now. I wrote the book. It's time to hit the road and start teaching people about the book and me as an author. And you know, I got a lot of other different avenues to do that through as well. I'm really out here trying to reach people. I wrote the book for everyone. I do think there's parts of this book that, you know, anybody would like to read, from someone who likes action to someone who likes love to someone who's looking for something off the beaten path here and there, something almost like metaphysical thought, almost like you know, psychedelic experience. Although this doesn't have a lot of that, but there are parts, because of the anime influence, where it really breaks off the beaten path to try to just show you a little different something. But I think the main audience I wrote the book for was my friends. I'm talking about people between the age of 20 and 40 who are not reading like I think they want to be. I think people, you know, they stop doing it because it's one of those things you got to focus on. You got to sit down, you got to read, you got to put your phone down. But I really tried to write this big fat book in a way where you could read it 5 pages at a time. You could pick it up every day for 5 minutes, get something out of it, and put it back down. There's 140 plus chapters, and each chapter even has these breaks in it. So it's like, the idea was to write something that brought you through it, like reading an anime where, you know, you could look at a page or two and then kind of put it down. But my hope was that as people started reading and those pages started turning, it also builds up with suspense and action like a movie. And I was hoping that people, especially younger people, get that connection and read it and then read something else. I've had multiple friends tell me, man, you know, the last time I read a book, this is going to be the first book I've read in so long. I had another friend tell me, this is definitely the longest book I'm ever going to read, bro. But they're going to read it. They bought it. They're trying. They're reading. They're talking to me about it. That's who the book's for. It's for people who want to pick it up. Anybody who wants to pick it up and read it will find something. I think books are a commitment, you know, you make to yourself and the book to get from the start to the finish. It's not something you can't bullshit your way through the book. I mean, you could read a summary online, you could have AI summarize it for you. You ain't gonna feel like you read the book. And when you read a book, you feel something. There's a sense of accomplishment in starting and finishing a story, and listening to all the details. And you know, nowadays it doesn't just have to be the book. My next plan with this is to record my own audio book. I know we haven't got to this yet, but you know, I self-published the book and through Dab Earth, and that was a big part of my process that I wanted. Is just like, if everything else I do, I'm an independent glassblower, I'm an independent hip-hop artist, I wanted to be an independent author. I wanted to show people you can take your ideas, put them out, edit, do whatever you need to do, make it good, and give it to the people the way you wanted to, without sacrificing any of the excess or the parts that maybe not are most commercially viable or this and that. So for me, yeah, I want to get to the audio book now, because I do recognize that not everybody's going to read a book. Even people want to read a book, they might get halfway through it. It's hard. So that's, you know, in 2025, that's why you want to put out an audio book so people can listen. You hope it gets made into a TV series so people will catch it that way. You know, stories are the important part. Just like we used to have oral histories of stories, all the ways we tell stories are important. So I think, you writing them is a way to preserve it. But in our current society, doing things like this interview, like digital formats, are another way to preserve things. And yeah, I just think any way you can get the stories to people is of importance. I don't think it's fair to say you don't want to see other people's perspectives. That's a really closed view of the world and a hard way to live, because in a community you gotta see everyone's perspective, and the book's kind of about that. It's like giving you perspective. I mean, I wrote in perspectives that weren't me. You have to put yourself into characters and see from their point of view and make decisions you wouldn't necessarily make, and understand why they would make that. And that's powerful shit when you start. That's how you should have arguments with people. You shouldn't just argue from your perspective. You should try to see theirs. So it's all that same, it's part of the sauce of life. I feel like is maybe that's something people do need. Pick up more books and read and see some other people's perspectives. It doesn't have to be a big long book like mine. Go pick up a 100-page book. Somebody you like, rappers write books about their lives. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have to be some intellectual, crazy pursuit, but learn about other people. So since I self-published the book, the book's available right now on Amazon. That's the main place I'm selling it to, and I also usually have it on me when I'm out vending at glass events, music events, and the such. The next goal really is for me to start taking pieces of the book, submitting it to more literary-based contests, trying to put it in the hands of agents, publishers, things like that. Because I'm self-published, my goal was to find new, unique ways to advertise, which I'm going to do through my music, through throwing events where me, other people will all be there, bringing a particular vibe, and it'll be just natural to talk to people about it, to present it to people. I really want to, starting with this interview, get out there and talk to more people about it. Really say, I'm here. This is Devin A. Burns, the author. This is my book. This is what it's about, and it's time that all of you start reading it and following me. I want to end up being a force in the South Florida, specifically Palm Beach County literary scene, and become an author that maybe even has a national appeal and can start. I'm writing Florida stories, so my goal is to kind of like bring this place and these people to a wider audience, and so more people learn about what we're about down here. No, I think in a Respect the Vibe, Dab Earth, a little hip hop event where we can do a little talking about the book or something. I have a lot of different ideas. I'd like to gather small groups of people kind of, and just maybe even do small readings, talk, but also luckily because I'm into a lot of other things, I could have some other rappers there, some other things that bring excitement, and I really want to spread it through community. So not just like, here, I'm Devin Burns, here's a book event just for me, but like, here's an interesting event about other people in the community, and we could base it around also celebrating the finished book. The first best advice I give to any writer is write. Read and write. There's really nothing that can replace the two. You can go to school. I was a philosophy major. I graduated from UF. I learned a lot about writing there, but the vast majority of what I learned about writing, what pushed me to be an author, how I learned to find my own voice as an author, was all from reading. From finding authors I loved and reading their books and digging into them, and reading books I didn't like along the way, having people suggest to me different books, new books. Nothing's better for writing than reading. So I think that's like key. And then number two is, just write. Like, my routine for writing came from literally when I went from just writing for fun to I'm gonna write every day, no matter what. And I basically got to a routine where I can wake up in the morning, have my coffee, write for 4 to 5 hours, pretty much nonstop. I mean, I wrote this whole book. I wouldn't say I had a moment of writer's block, and I still don't. I don't fall into that. I'll just move to a different section and come back if something's sticking. But I really believe when you sit there and just write every day, the stories start to tell themselves, the connections, the magic, the sauce, like literally just it comes to you. You can't force it, create it. You gotta sit there every day and be present for it. Just like with music, man, I think we're conduits of this energy. It's a universal energy, and like some of it's not necessarily, it's not like I'm so amazing because I thought it up. I think it's just channeling the things you're learning in this life, in this world, and we all could be beacons to teach each other that type of stuff. So yeah, that's why I say everybody just write, and then when you want to put it out, you know, do your work, edit it, get it ready, make it look good. I mean, bro, I had my man Swanberger make a beautiful title for me, you know, beautiful cover for me. Every part of it you got to take pride in, and in the end, you know, you end up with your own logo on your book. You end up putting it out by yourself. You can control what you do, and there's a big value to that in this world nowadays. So yeah, I mean, my main advice really is just do it, man. There's no, to do the work, no shortcuts, just chase what you want and do it. For the people watching, I just want to tell them, get on Amazon, type in Death in the Morning, Devin A. Burns. Grab a copy of the book, because you know we all gotta support each other, support local art. Anybody who knows me knows when I see local art that's new and interesting to me, I go out and support that shit, because in the end we gotta help bring each other around, and this is a community. We are an art community, Palm Beach County art community, whether you're an author, musician, a painter, and we can all build together. I mean, this is just the start for me. This book was like school for me. This was book one. My goal is to put out a bunch of books, you know, to keep writing, to help other people write or show them how to publish, to you know, all that knowledge is shared knowledge now. And I think if we can kind of commit to each other to build each other's stuff up, you end up, you know, it's just a beautiful thing, man. When you're collecting your friends' art and they're telling you about your stuff, there's nothing that touches that in this world. What's up? Once again, it's your boy Devin A. Burns. My man, respect the vibe. First, I gotta just give them the utmost respect, man. I love what y'all do for the community. These stories are legendary. We're all gonna look back on this and really appreciate it. For anybody watching, please go pick up the book. If you want to see some other stuff I do, go search Doppler on YouTube. I make tons of music with my man Zach Bordeaux. You can look up Doppler Glass. I make my own glass art as well with Lost Boys Glass. You can look up Dab Earth. That's my brand. That's what I put out. The music, glass, the book, everything. That's my imprint. And just stay on the vibe, man. Follow me on Instagram, any of those places, Doppler Music, Dab Earth, Doppler Glass, and look out for more books, more music, more respecting the vibe, man. We're gonna start doing some events and things like that, and yeah, I look forward to just bringing love and art to Palm Beach County, man.